I want to bring in Mark Regev right now. He's a senior advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mark, thanks very much for joining us. Did today's release and all of the events that were supposed to take place today go as you expected?
Probably better than expected. When you're dealing with a terrorist group like Hamas, you have low expectations. But I think President Biden said it well when he said that Hamas responds to pressure. And I think their need for a ceasefire, after being on the receiving end of the IDF's blows, they need a timeout. And therefore, I think we got this deal.
So walk us through what happens next. What's the next stage in all of this? Today went well by almost all accounts.
Correct. And we've received already this evening a list of the people they propose to release tomorrow.
We're talking about Israelis.
Yes. That list is being studied at the moment as we speak. Once again, it'll all be confidential until tomorrow night. The families of the relevant people are being notified. They're being asked not to talk.
Notified by the Israelis.
Yes, yes. And of course, people who are not on the list are also being told. I mean, it's mixed because on one hand, we're very excited for the people who came back there. The guest you just had here, obviously, everyone's thrilled for him and his family that loved ones came back. But there's still, if we got 13 out today, there's still another 37 that have to come out in the framework of the 4 days and Hamas's commitment to free 50. But even saying that, yes, we've got scores of people who will remain behind. And so it's happy, sad. Happy for the people who've left, but sad for the people who are still stuck there.
I know you can't mention any names, but today, of the first 13 who were released, mostly women, elderly women, and a few young children. Is that the same formula that's going to happen tomorrow?
I think it's the same understanding. Their focus is now on the children, of course, and women, their parents.
Children and the women,
Yeah.
and mostly older women. That's what they're releasing so far. So we expect the same thing to happen tomorrow.
Once again, I can't be sure. I haven't seen the list myself, but that's my understanding.
Can you tell us whether or not any of the Americans who are still being held hostage are among the list who will be released tomorrow?
So, first of all, as I said, I haven't seen the list tomorrow, but one of the Americans is a young female child. So I would think she would be a priority, but once again, I haven't seen the list.
So you don't. I think she just turned 4 today.
Very good.
So let's hope she's on that list. It's still, such a complex situation, and there were some reports today. I'm sure you saw that there was some Israeli gunfire in northern Gaza. The truce, is supposed to be, honored right now as a result of what's going on. Can you share with us some perspective on what happened in northern Gaza, and is this potentially a threat to the rest of this initial phase falling apart?
So far, the humanitarian pause is holding better than expected. I mean, it's been remarkably quiet. That incident that you talk about, there were clear understandings reached on what is acceptable and not acceptable during this humanitarian pause. And Israel was responding to violations of what was not acceptable. And the other side knows that. And hopefully we'll see no more of that.
So what were the violations?
I'm not sure I want to go into too many details, but we don't want to see Hamas fighters return to positions they've been thrown out of in the north.
But at this point, Mark, are you confident that this initial phase over these first 4 days and 50 Israeli hostages eventually being released, are you confident that will work out?
I don't know confidence works with the word Hamas, because we really are dealing with a brutal and dangerous enemy, fanatics. When Hamas spokespeople, their leadership, when they've been interviewed by CNN and others, they've said publicly, and they don't blink an eyelid when they say this, the attack of October 7th, that was only against military targets. Maybe you've heard them say that. And yet today they release with their own hands 6 women over the age of 70 and 4 children under the age of 10. Obviously civilians. And so, as President Biden said correctly, they understand pressure. And this will work only if we keep the pressure up. I want to say a word about President Biden. We wouldn't have had this success today without his involvement, and everyone in Israel who knows what's going on is very, very appreciative.
And so as of right now, the U.S. and Israel, from your perspective, Mark, are on exactly the same page?
We're definitely on the big issues on the same page. And once again, I don't think we would have had this arrangement to get out the 50 people over 4 days without the direct involvement of the president.
I didn't know he's been directly involved. Mark Regev, thanks so much. Let's hope this works out, this initial phase, and then there'll be more phases down the road. There's still...
No, it's Hamas. Hamas has the option to extend the humanitarian pause. All they have to do is release more hostages. They have that option. We'll see what they do.
And we're expecting, what, another at least 10 tomorrow?
Yeah, but I don't have a precise number for you yet.
All right, let's hope. Mark Regev, thank you very much for joining us.